What does it take for a comedian to bring down a former president with just a few words? Is it possible that humor, rather than policy, can expose the deepest vulnerabilities of someone as entrenched in their own ego as Donald Trump? Chris Rock, in his latest special, seems to think so. His commentary on Trump's presidency, particularly around his inability to handle criticism and his obsession with being viewed as exceptional, gives us a master class in political satire. Rock's analysis of Trump's character, which cleverly intertwines bullying, ego, and a desperate need for validation, provides a sharp look at the former president's psyche. And it's all done with humor, without ever needing to resort to outright condemnation. Chris Rock opens his remarks by discussing the nature of bullying in American culture. "Bullies are bad, right?" he asks the audience, setting the stage for a deeper exploration of how a bully's actions can wreak havoc on a society that doesn't know how to fight back. In this context, Trump's rise to power becomes a case study of how a society's failure to address bullying allowed a true bully to step into the spotlight. As Rock puts it, "We got rid of bullies. Then a real bully showed up, and nobody knew how to handle it." This line encapsulates the entire premise of Rock's routine, the rise of Trump as a symbol of unchecked, unapologetic bullying. But it's not just Trump's behavior that Rock takes aim at. It's also the way the world around him reacts. Trump, after surviving an assassination attempt, was lauded by some as a symbol of resilience. Time magazine even named him Man of the Year. But Rock's take on this moment isn't reverent, it's ironic. He lists off Trump's supposed accomplishments in a casual, almost dismissive tone. "Man, Trump had a good year," Rock says with a hint of sarcasm. "He survived an assassination attempt." In that single line, Rock cuts through the pomp and circumstance, transforming what could have been a moment of reverence into a punchline. The audience's reaction is a mix of surprise and discomfort, as they struggle to interpret whether Rock is genuinely acknowledging Trump's achievements or poking fun at them. Rock masterfully builds tension before landing the punchline. "Unfortunately, the bullet did not strike his ear, which would have given him a wake-up call." The crowd erupts in laughter, not just at the words, but at the delivery. Rock's nonchalant dismissal of Trump's near-death experience becomes a devastating insult. It's a reflection of the way Rock views Trump's entire presidency, something that can be trivialized, not taken seriously. What makes this joke so effective isn't just the content, but the delivery. Rock isn't shouting or ranting. He's cool and collected, almost bored. This detachment is what makes the joke land so hard. It's the ultimate insult to a man whose entire existence seems tied to being treated as exceptional, as unique. Trump's identity revolves around admiration, and for him, not being treated as extraordinary is a fate worse than failure. Chris Rock understands this fundamental truth and uses it to expertly expose Trump's most significant weakness, his insecurity. The irony is hard to ignore. Trump has made a career out of using others' admiration to inflate his own sense of self-worth. As Rock points out, Trump has even gone so far as to frame fake Time magazine covers with his own face and hang them in his golf clubs. For Trump, being regarded as exceptional isn't just about being successful, it's about being viewed as more important, more unique than anyone else. This obsession with status and recognition is so deeply ingrained in him that even the slightest hint of dismissiveness sends him into a rage. The moment Rock brings up the assassination attempt, he hits Trump where it hurts most. Trump wanted the world to rally around him after surviving the attack. He imagined himself standing in the rubble like a heroic figure after September 11th, calling the country together in a moment of unity. Instead, Rock casually dismisses the event as if it were nothing more than a minor inconvenience. The resulting frustration from Trump, according to insiders, was palpable. Rock didn't just make a joke about Trump. He highlighted the profound emptiness that defines the former president's need for approval. What's interesting about Rock's approach is that he doesn't delve into Trump's policies or even attack him head-on. Instead, he focuses on the emotional core of Trump's persona. He recognizes that Trump thrives on attention, and while he can weather criticism of his policies, he cannot tolerate being disregarded. By brushing off Trump's near-death experience as something inconsequential, Rock highlights the emotional void that defines Trump's worldview. Rock's humor also shines in its ability to expose the contradictions in Trump's persona. In one particularly sharp segment, Rock points out the oddity of Trump's relationship with Elon Musk. Trump, a vocal advocate for anti-immigrant policies, has spent years flaunting his connection to Musk, a billionaire immigrant from South Africa. Trump uses Musk's success to bolster his own image, as though his friendship with Musk somehow validates his own business acumen. Rock, however, twists this relationship into a punchline, saying that Trump's admiration for Musk is like a schoolchild desperately clinging to the popular kids at lunch. It's a brilliant commentary on Trump's tendency to use others' success to prop up his own self-image. The audience's reaction to this segment is telling. They laugh not just at the irony of Trump's relationship with Musk, but at the absurdity of Trump's entire persona. The joke about Musk also touches on the deeper racial and immigration politics that Trump's rhetoric has stirred up throughout his career. By highlighting the fact that Musk is an immigrant, Rock forces the audience to confront the hypocrisy of Trump's stance on immigration. It's a joke that cuts to the core of Trump's public image, and it's devastating because it's true. Rock's approach to comedy isn't about attacking Trump head-on. Instead, it's about exposing the absurdity of his behavior, his contradictions, and his insecurities. By focusing on these personal vulnerabilities, Rock doesn't need to make lengthy speeches about policy or political ideology. Instead, he lets the audience connect the dots on their own, making the humor all the more effective. So, what does this say about Trump's presidency and his place in American politics? Rock's routine suggests that Trump's rise to power wasn't just about policy or public support. It was also about how a society failed to address the deeper psychological issues that Trump embodies. His presidency, in many ways, was an extension of his need for validation, his inability to accept criticism, and his desperation to be seen as exceptional. In the end, Chris Rock doesn't just expose the flaws in Trump's character. He reveals something even deeper about the nature of power and influence. Trump's rise was not just a political victory, it was a triumph of ego. And as Rock deftly points out, when the world fails to acknowledge the fragility of that ego, it allows bullies like Trump to thrive.